Hey everybody, welcome back to the Doggone Positive Way, Season 1, Episode 4. Today we're gonna talk about uncontrollable noise like thunder and fireworks, which is more predictable than thunder typically, and if there's construction in the neighborhood or even at your house, what you can do to help your dog deal with that stress and anxiety. And I have this in Shut Up Rover because if you have a dog like Troy, Troy is not afraid of noise. Troy loves noise. Troy wants to chase the fireworks. Troy wants to eat the lightning and the thunder. I don't know what he wants to do because you can't see it. But he's a barker at it. So he's like just barking at it like, somebody's at the door. Like he's like a little angry about it. So in that regard, it's awesome because I don't want him to feel stress and anxious like a lot of pets feel, especially here in Florida. It's the the lightning capital of the United States. And I don't know how it is now because of climate change, but that's another story for somebody else to cover. But we get a lot of storms here and a lot of lightning. And we also get a lot of opportunity to shoot fireworks off. We hate fireworks. Environmentally, it's horrible. And for our pets, for our dogs and our cats, and I think a lot of animals that aren't used to it, aren't used to those sounds. It's frightening. It's sudden. They don't know it's 4th of July. They don't know it's, New Year's Eve. They don't know these things. They are not us. Of course, they sense that there's going to be a party going on or what have you, but at the end of the day, your animal is just hearing really loud noise and they're going to react to it. Some don't react at all because they really don't care. Some dogs freak out. They stress. They pant. They shake. They hide. They want to hide in the bathroom, in the tub, around the toilet. They want to, hide in a closet, whatever it is. They're really afraid. And then other dogs are like Troy, where it's like, oh, I've got to protect my house. There's noise. It's just alarming, and we're going to alarm bark. So here we go. It's like, I want you guys, first thing I want you to do is I want you to talk to your vet. Call your vet. Do your research online, of course, but there's a lot of information online. And as you know, not everything that is on the internet is true. So, for example, when I do research, I like to do things that are, what's called peer-reviewed articles. So it's gone through a whole process. It's not just somebody saying, hey, this is really good for your dog. It goes through a process. It gets reviewed by other people in the field, and or a college document from like maybe Cornell or Tufts. These are colleges that have veterinary behavior programs. Also, the Humane Society of America out in Colorado. And you want to go to resources that are based on science, basically, and things that have been proven, because you want to do your dog a favor. And you also want to do yourself a favor, because sometimes you can, and this is with humans too. I mean, doctors and vets, we're all human. So you might have a vet who maybe isn't that, hasn't really had that much experience with medication or something like that. And you can say, hey, I read about this in the Tufts University or, Cornell University's site about a medication called Celio or a medication called Trazodone. We've used Celio. I really like it. I can't remember how you say it, but the type of medication it is, as far as delivery service, you actually rub an ointment on their gums and it gets absorbed immediately, which is really useful again, for living in places like Florida where there's unpredictable, thunderstorms. Okay, that is great because when you're in a thunderstorm community or state, you don't really have enough notice to say, oh, it's gonna storm at, I don't know, 2 o'clock today, and I'm gonna give Troy his medication at 11 and be proactive. You can't do that with thunderstorms. You can do that with fireworks. You can do that when there's construction in the neighborhood or in your own house, obviously. But you can't do that with nature. So in hurricanes, I mean, that's a whole other thing. You've got wind. You possibly have things flying by. So just talk to your vet. Do your research. Talk to other people, other dog owners. See what they've used. You're not alone, in the, realm of like, oh my God, my dog hates fireworks and, thunder and lightning. So, you can also try CBD treats or CBD tinctures, and some of those work amazing. It works great for Troy in certain situations. It does not work for thunderstorms for Troy, but it may work for your dog. So, you can experiment a little bit. And what I like to tell people is, I always tell you guys this every time, even if it's for, just a training event or, coming on call type of thing, do it when there's no distractions. So with the medications, I've had clients say to their vet, listen, let's try this medication. Or the vet says, okay, I'm going to give you this medication. And you can say, I want you to try it. So I'm going to pay to leave my dog with you today and have you administer Celia, trazodone, whatever it is, okay? Which is good because in a clinic, first of all, you have your vet right there. So if anything goes weird, the vet is right there, okay? The other thing is you have somebody who's observing them the whole time. The vet techs, the vet, they're in and out of, whatever rooms your dog is in. Maybe it's in a kennel. Maybe it's going to be in a surgery suite with them. You don't know. You can absolutely ask, like, what type of observation is going to happen. They're not going to just sit there and watch your dog. Their dog is going to kind of be in the mix of things. Now I'll tell you a funny story. We have a dog, not me, I have a client who has a dog who has separation anxiety. She tried Celio. Dog is at the vet. The vet puts the Celio on the gums. It gets absorbed. That dog was up the entire time. Didn't touch her. So this is why you need to try these things when nothing is going on. You don't want to get a medication that you've never used before on your pet and be like, here, we're going to try it tonight and hope for the best, because it's indicated for this, and that. Just like us, just like kids, you can take something that's supposed to make you sleepy and it makes you hyper instead. The same thing happens with our pets. So if you have the time, or if your vet is able to do it or willing to do it, please take advantage of that as an option, because I really want you to just have a great 4th of July or have a great, thunderstorm season so that you're prepared, or as good as you can have, right? So that you're prepared. Now, 2 other drugs. Okay, I told you I've used Celio, and it's a good drug, but it is a little expensive. So we kind of go more with trazodone because that actually works for Troy. And we have found that it's a great drug for him. I have friends and fellow colleagues where trazodone is like giving your dog a cup of coffee and it does nothing, or it makes them more hyper, or maybe can make them a little bit, just kind of mess with their brain chemistry that day or in that moment. Troy, before I met Troy, he was prescribed acepromazine, and Tammy said it didn't do anything for him. Acepromazine tends to not be good with noise phobia. That's all. So it might work for your dog, but for Troy, no bueno. That was not a good, mix for him. So Celio, I like it because it is very fast acting. And you do have to wear rubber gloves and just put a little bit on, and you can dose it out in the syringe that it comes with. It's not a needle, it's not a needle, but there's a syringe that just kind of doses it out for you, makes it really easy. And it's a newer drug. It's probably been around for like, 10 years, maybe more, but I like it. I liked it. I also used it on Rufus a couple of times. It was great. It didn't, what I also liked about it, for me, it's specifically indicated for noise phobia. So to me, that means like my dog is a little relaxed. Maybe they fall asleep. It depends on your dog's tolerance. But they're not like, oh my God, I'm drugged and I hear noise and I can't do anything. This one is indicated specifically for noise phobia. So when it happens, they're not freaking out. Now, here's the other thing I do with Rufus. I might have this on video somewhere. Gotta find it. But when, Rufus, for like maybe a season, all of a sudden just started showing signs of stress around fireworks. So what I did was I medicated Rufus with the Celio, and we just stayed in one room, and I reinforced him, gave him little treats, gave him freeze-dried liver, chicken. I had a whole plethora in my treat pouch because, it's cool to have different stuff. They never know what they're going to get. They might like something more than the other. So you kind of mix it up for them. But anyway, and it really helped. So a combination of the medication and some behavior modification really is the answer to changing behavior. But even if you can't change it, if it's like this phobia thing that's going on, you can modify it a little bit, make your animal feel much more comfortable. You can do this with cats too. This kind of training is for every animal that you own. And it just, we just need to have just more of a relationship with our vets where we can talk to them about these types of things more than just, going in for a yearly checkup and some blood work. I think it's important to be able to call them up and say, hey, there's, I'm going to be traveling and I need this medication. Or 4th of July is coming up. Can you prescribe the medication that works best for, Troy or Bella or Rufus or whoever your animal is, right? And you may have to go in and, I know it's an expense, but I have to tell you that sometimes you need to spend a little money up front on your dog and your cat or other animals at the vet to get what they need, and it's what you need for them. It's to make your life less stressful because they're going to be less stressed and you're going to have more freedom. And I really try and really just hammer in that you've got to be proactive with your animals for everything. You want to, again, future-proof them for events the unseen events that I'm going to tell you are going to happen. If stuff doesn't happen in your life, you're A, the, rarest person in the world, and B, you're the luckiest person in the world because shit happens and you don't know what life is going to deliver you. So, let's be proactive with it. I've got some notes here that are going to help me just discuss the next thing, which is, okay, sometimes people are like, well, can I get a thunderstorm tape? Can I get, a fireworks recording? Not a tape. I'm sorry, showing my age. But like you can replicate noises from YouTube or CDs, this type of thing, right? So it's like sometimes that stuff really doesn't work, especially when you're trying to replicate a thunderstorm. The things that happen with a storm or hurricane cannot be replicated on YouTube. The sound can, yes. The environmental changes that happen in the atmosphere, the barometric changes, the wind, you can't recreate that unless you're a scientist at, I don't know, NASA or whatever. You can't do that. So that's hard to do. Fireworks, I think it's a little different because it's not an climate, atmospheric type of event. It's, you know, people just shooting off explosives, which, you know, whatever, I hate. You know, it's just something that is a little bit easier to replicate. And treat. Do it when your dog's hungry. What do I always tell you? Restrain yourself and not feed them their whole meal, or skip a meal that day especially. But when you're working with your dog and you want to train your dog, skip breakfast, skip dinner, you know, skip both if your dog's really stubborn. It's okay. They're not going to die. They'll be fine. Remember, even for surgery, we have to fast. Our dogs have to fast. It's okay. Nothing bad is going to happen. Of course, provide water for them. Use common sense, okay? But you want your dog motivated. If your dog's motivated, they're more apt to work for you, okay? So we've got medication, we've got replicating the noise, and I want to talk about changing the ambiance in your environment. And that's just the surrounding sound. We have window units right now in a couple of rooms, and it provides a wonderful steady sound that blocks things out. Certain television shows do. If it gets loud and then quiet and loud and quiet, no, you want something that's got a lot of filler noise in the background, and you just search around for stuff. Also, sound machines can be very helpful. You can get even the air filter with the sound in it, or just an air filter, a small one. You could stick it under a couch or behind something, and that will have that same constant sound, okay? Music can be okay. It just, again, like television shows, it just depends. You want something that is just going to have a constant sound and kind of fill up the atmosphere like a window unit. Also, like Tibetan bowls. I just started listening to those to go back to sleep in the middle of the night. Works like a charm, is very relaxing, and is a constant, okay? So you have a lot of different options. I think it's really important to, you know, block out some of that noise just naturally, because, you know, you don't want to turn your dog into like some reactive dog because they're constantly hearing something all the time. Bark, 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 bark. You know, throw a little atmospheric sounds in there that are not, you know, stressful. You know, again, I'm always going to go back. Like I said, do your enrichment, get your lick mat, get your Kong toys, get your Buster cubes, get these things. Exercise your dog earlier in the day. If you're dealing with heat, you know, way earlier in the day. If it's before the event, earlier in the day, you know, a couple times. Is it going to be a little work? Yeah, but, you know, it's going to be worse for you and the dog if your dog is stressing out and you have company over. You want everybody to be comfortable. You want to be a good host. And then the Thunder Shirt. Thunder Shirt is awesome. It creates pressure. You wrap it appropriately. They're really great. They work on my dogs. Before I spent the money for one, the first time was with my Jack Russell Scrat, and all of a sudden he developed thunderstorm phobia. Literally, like, so random. And I was like, okay. And he was panting, he was shaking. So I got an ace bandage because he was little, so he was like 9 pounds, soaking wet. So I got an ace bandage and I wrapped it around him in the same manner as you would, the Thunder Shirt would wrap a little bit around the neck and shoulders and around the body. And I'll tell you what, that worked like a charm. So then I bought an actual Thunder Shirt because, you know, I'm not going to wrap my dog. They're awesome. I've had one dog, some dogs you put it on and they won't move. I had a dog that I put it on her and she was like, I don't know what's happening, but I'm not moving. So that's just throwing that into the Yo Human series because the barking that happens, the whining, and the stress. And I thought it was an important episode to record for you guys because, I just, the holidays are coming up and we are going to have, in Florida, it's like any reason to shoot off the fireworks, it's any time. So, we always have medication on hand for the animals. And on the daily, I restrict some of Troy's food because I am always working with him. I'm here all the time. I work out of the house. I have people coming over throughout the day. I want to have control over him, so I'm not going to feed him his full meal. Most of his meal is going to come from my hands and my treat pouch, and even some other people who come in that I'm like, okay, tell him to sit, and he sits and they give him a treat. I've got to have control over him. So anyway, you guys, I hope this was helpful for noise phobias and just preparing and just also creating a better relationship with your vet. If you don't have a good relationship with your vet, you can leave your vet and go somewhere else. It's okay. You're the person who is paying the bill. So I want you to be able to have a comfortable relationship and be able to call and be like, hey, this is what's going on. What do you think? Do I need to come in? Yes. Okay. I'm going to go in. Great. See you on Friday. And let's talk about medication and different things. So anyway, I am so thrilled to be doing this for you guys. It is, I can't even tell you how amazing it is to be able to get this information out to you guys because we all need some of this stuff for our pets, right? Anyway, thanks for tuning in and have a doggone positive day. Bye.